This is the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross small SUV, or more specifically, the plug-in hybrid version of the Eclipse Cross. That's one of the more affordable electrified SUVs on the Australian market. In this video, we're going to take a look at to see what $14,000 extra over the petrol version brings you, and take a deep dive into its design, features, practicality, drivability, and of course, that plug-in hybrid powertrain. But first, have you subscribed to the Wheels Australia YouTube channel yet? Click on the link below for more in-depth reviews like this one every week. So, the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross PHEV, or PHEV if you will. If you're after an electrified SUV that'll get you around the town, mostly on batteries for under $50,000, this review is for you. Mitsubishi has had great success around the world with the plug-in hybrid versions of its Outlander medium SUV, and now that technology is available in the Eclipse Cross. The plug-in hybrid variants are priced from $46,490 for the entry-level ES, with this mid-spec Aspire we have here retailing for $49,990, which is $4,000 less than the range-topping Exceed. The Eclipse Cross PHEV Aspire variant costs about $15,000 more than the two-wheel drive petrol version, and all-wheel drive hybrid powertrain aside, is almost identically equipped. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Eclipse Cross, this is the latest Mitsubishi model to arrive in Australia, came at the end of 2017, and sort of bridges the gap between the ASX and the Outlander SUVs. It recently underwent a bit of a significant facelift that brought this sort of revised grille treatment and sleeker LED headlights. What hasn't really changed is the side that, I don't know, looks a bit really busy and has this chiseled rising waistline that was put there for reasons that only the designer knows. But I think the best improvement with this version is the revised rear end. They've got rid of the sort of split screen with a spoiler that went across the window that really looked a bit weird and hampered rear vision to no end. So the more conventional tailgate, I think, really makes this look a lot better, and I quite like the way the taillights come right up to the spoiler. The Aspire spec brings some extra bling up front, including LED fog lamps, black roof rails, and heated power folding wing mirrors. So what do you think of the new design? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, let's check out the interior. The cabin's quite attractive. There's plenty of bright spots, that's for sure, with this sort of faux metal treatment everywhere, and plenty of piano black even on the steering wheel. The seats are nice and comfortable, and it's just, it's a pleasant enough place to be. There's soft touches too on the doors, nice padded armrests on either side, and the dashboard is nice and soft. But as you'd expect, usually once you get a bit lower, sort of hard surfaces abound. The update brought a few little differences, such as the bigger 8-inch touchscreen, and they got rid of the sort of fiddly control interface and put some old-fashioned knobs on here to control your tuning and volume. Although they look a bit cheap, they sort of look like the little bottle caps that you get on the little hotel minibar bottles, you know. And so you do see that a bit around the cabin. The Aspire variant has a 6-speaker sound system through which you can listen to digital audio or music stream via Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There are 2 USB sockets and 2-zone climate control air conditioning. The back seats are pretty comfortable. There's plenty of knee room, though headroom's a bit tight because of the sort of swept back roof line. But I do like the way the seat is nice and high, which gives you really good front vision. And also you're well above that shoulder line, even though that's quite high and rising. So even kids should have a pretty good view out the side. Even this sort of mid-spec Aspire, considering you're spending nearly $50,000, it doesn't really bring much. There's one map pocket, a couple little things in the door to put bottles in. There are no air vents or USBs, just a 12-volt socket. And then there's the sort of pull-down centre armrest with the obligatory cup holders. One compromise you make by choosing the PHEV is reduced boot space, which sees the floor raised by 17 millimetres, which results in cargo area being reduced from 405 litres to a hatchback like 359 litres. Capacity with the rear seats down is also significantly reduced from 1149 litres to just 626. And unlike the standard Eclipse Cross, you don't even get a spare tyre, just a puncture repair kit. Safety-wise, the Eclipse Cross PHEV shares the same 5-star ANCAP rating with the rest of the range. They come standard with 7 airbags, reverse parking sensors, autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and lane departure warning. This mid-spec Aspire and the top-spec Exceed version also come with a bit more driver assist tech, including adaptive cruise control, rear cross traffic alert and blind spot monitoring. Unlike the standard petrol Eclipse Cross that comes with a 110 kilowatt, 250 Newton meter engine, this electrified powertrain comes with a 94 kilowatt, 199 Newton meter 4-cylinder Atkinson cycle engine, plus 60 kilowatt and 70 kilowatt electric motors that drive the front and rear axles respectively. The electric motors are fed by a 300 volt lithium-ion battery with a 13.8 kilowatt hour capacity, which provides a claimed 55 kilometer all-electric range. Charge this at home on a standard 10 amp socket and you'll get from 0 to full in about 7 hours, which is pretty much overnight. Use an AC fast charger for about 7 amps and you'll get about probably just under half of that. But one good thing about this is it's one of the few plug-in hybrids that allow you to use rapid DC charging, and that means you can get this charged from 0 to 80% in just 25 minutes, which is a bit of a game changer as it allows you now to charge this while on the road. However, you'll need to find a charger with a CHAdeMO plug, which is becoming increasingly uncommon. It's around town where you'll get the most of the plug-in hybrid powertrain's economic benefits. For shorter journeys, selecting EV mode means you're driving on batteries alone, which of course means zero fuel consumption. Drive in normal mode and you'll mostly run on battery power with the engine kicking in when needed, such as climbing steep hills or accelerating. Then there's save mode, which maintains the current battery charge, only engaging the electric motors to take over from the engine when coasting, travelling downhill or coming to a stop. The Eclipse can also charge a battery while you drive, but one problem with that is it's a bit sort of self-defeating in that it really gets your mileage up. It wouldn't be uncommon to be driving this on a freeway while charging and to see this thing pull 13 litres per 100 kilometres, which is pretty much in V8 territory. But it can be pretty handy on a freeway where even, when the car is pretty much in engine mode anyway, just flick it to charge and that way you recoup some battery. Another good way to recoup battery is with the regenerative braking, which you can adjust by using the paddle shifters. I think normal mode is the best way to let this car do its thing. It is a bit easy to get obsessed with your fuel consumption. I drove this thing just over 50 kilometres across Melbourne in normal mode and I didn't have a fully charged battery, but by the time I got home, all I'd used was about 2.5 litres per 100 kilometres, which is really economical for a car this size especially. So this plug-in hybrid powertrain is pretty good for charging and efficiency, but what's it like for drivability? Well, one thing I really like about this is the single fixed gear transmission, which is a lot better than the CVTs and the petrol versions, which are really thrashy. This thing just takes off seamlessly and just does its job. When it's switching between electric mode and petrol, you don't notice it. I mean, you might hear the noise, but it's a pretty quiet car either way. And despite having a single fixed gear, you'd think that when you really put the foot down with the engine running, it will start screaming, but it doesn't. It just runs really smoothly, which is, can't really say that for the CVT versions. Even in EV mode, performance is what you'd expect from a small SUV, but the acceleration feels sharper than the petrol version and generally effortless, especially around town. The suspension is a city slicker too, and despite having a multi-link setup at the rear, it can get busy over road imperfections, and there doesn't seem to be too much play in the dampers, which often react with a jarring thud over speed humps and the like. Handling is okay, helped by active yaw control that balances out the braking forces at the front wheels. The steering feels light and direct and suits the Eclipse Cross's zippy nature. So, is the plug-in hybrid version of the Eclipse Cross worth the extra coin? Well, I guess if you're going to pay more for this, it's because you want the electrified powertrain. So far, the only cheaper full electric vehicle on the market here is the MG ZS. But I reckon this plug-in hybrid powertrain with its fast charging capability is almost the next best thing. So yeah, if you're going to mostly drive this around town, only on batteries, and you want something that'll do that for under 50k, then yeah, this is worth a look.